So did I leave you hanging in that last video? Maybe you've got a bunch of negatives, a bunch of reasons why not, that look like a really big roadblock. What do we do with those? There's a fantastic technique known as motivational interviewing. It's been popularized in a book called Instant Influence, which I highly recommend. And we're going to take one of the techniques from there and apply it to the reasons why not. So the first thing I want you to do is to give me a number between 0 and 10 of how ready are you to commit to this transition to a plant-powered lifestyle. So if you say 10, well, you're there. Then there's nothing else to talk about. You're totally committed. You have 0 reservations. You have 0 doubts. Awesome. That's where we want to be. But suppose you only say, honestly, those doubts and fears and worries and yeah buts that I had, I don't know, it's like a 4. Really. Like, yeah, I want to, but I obviously don't want to because I'm not doing it. So now normally in regular life, if someone says, yeah, but I don't really want to do it, you'd say, well, why not? Why don't you want to do it? But what we're doing then is telling our brains to look for the reasons why not. So instead of that, you're going to play a little judo on your brain. And if you say, I'm at a 4, ask yourself, like I'm going to ask you now, 4, why not lower? Why not 3 or 2 or 1 or 0? And now what your brain is going to do is to come up with all the reasons that you're at 4. Well, I want to be healthy. I want my kids to be happy and not have to spend their time taking care of me unnecessarily. I want to travel and see the world as long as possible. I don't like pain. And then what happens when you start reiterating all these reasons? It can move up. So well, you can hear yourself convincing yourself. Rather than me trying to tell you all the reasons, you convincing yourself creates autonomy and momentum. And you might get all the way up to a 7 or 8 right from there. At which point, I would ask you, or you can ask yourself, what would it take to get me to a 10? And it might be more motivation, more thinking. It might be talking to other people who have made this choice versus maybe some older people who have made other choices, so you can see the 2 paths and you can see the difference. It might be just going out and trying some things and facing some fears and trying for a week to say, well, I'll go without pizza for a week and maybe it won't be so bad. Maybe it's just a temporary addiction. So whatever it is, think about what it would take, what you would have to think, know, believe, do, feel, experience in order to be at that 10. And then you can address it. Now, we're almost done, but what if you said 0? I have 0 desire to change. Well, we can't ask you why it's no lower, because it isn't, there's no room for it to be lower. So instead we'd say, what would it take to get you to a 1? And we then begin the process from there. So again, motivational interviewing is a great way to deal with all the yeah buts and the no's and the negatives and all those reasons that we uncovered that have kept us stuck for so long.